are now on lesson 4 of this course, How to Master Answer the Public. This time around we are going to look at influence and aspiration, but you know the drill. First off, we're going to start with a recap of what you learnt in lesson 3. We looked at tailored searches, so searches tailored by locale, by persona and by preference. On searches tailored by locale, you learnt where to look in an Answer the Public report to quickly find local search insight and how to make use of it. On searches tailored by persona, again, you learnt where to quickly look to spot the insight in your report, and you had a chance to explore both the literal and lateral personas that search data uncovered related to your product. And on searches tailored by preference, you learnt where to find the insight and what to do with it, from using it to determine how you group and present products within your range, to using it to inform product or service development. So, on to influence and aspiration. Now, without realising it, most of us tell Google who or what we are influenced by on a regular basis, and there's one key word that gives it away. Any ideas what that is? It's like. As you'll know, very handily, that's a branch on the comparisons wheel of any Answer the Public report. In order to understand influence and aspiration around your product or service, you just need to run a report using words relevant to your product or service. I'm going to show you now using quotes. So if I jump to the like branch, you can straight away see some big name personalities who I would define as influencers in the coat world. Coats like Kate Middleton wears and coats like Meghan Markle. Effectively, people have seen images of Kate and Meghan wearing coats and decided that they'd like one similar, and they've turned to Google using like to find one. So you can use this method for identifying influencers across a whole host of industries or products, but I've found that it typically works best when there's an image or aesthetics focus, so areas like fashion and beauty. And that makes sense, right? It's those industries where influencers are most prominent. Task. Open up Answer the Public and type hairstyles in. Jump to the comparisons wheel and look at that like branch. Who are the hair influencers in your country? Are any of them a surprise? From the results I get, there are a whole load of women who I would honestly never have anticipated being hair influencers. Anthea Turner is a TV presenter who's now in her late 50s. She was really popular in her heyday, but she's less so now. Ruth Langsford is another TV presenter of the same age, but isn't really thought of as a beauty influencer. And yet here they both are, showing up as influencers in the hair space. For me, this just reinforces how Google represents the thoughts and feelings of the average person. With sites like Instagram and Pinterest, where you might usually go to look for influencers, they're likely to be skewed by a younger user base, but everyone uses Google. If you're not working in an industry where influencers are active and relevant, you can still use this way of working and thinking to get to what I like to think of as aspirational benchmarks. So those are the brands or destinations or whatever else that people use to navigate their needs. It works well in the travel space. Let me show you. I've run a report on vacations, and jumping down to the like branch, I can see a number of actual destinations coming through. Hawaii, Bora Bora, Iceland, Bali, Costa Rica, Gatlinburg, Vegas, Aruba, and so on. So these are all places which people are aware of and appeal in some way, but they're looking for something slightly different. Unfortunately, the data won't tell you what that is, so you'd need to do some more work yourself to investigate what it is about the destinations that make them an anchor, or what it is that means that they're not 100% right for people. Sometimes you'll get that, like in my report where I can see vacations like Hawaii but cheaper. I can infer from this that Hawaii looks like an amazing destination, but the pricing puts some people off. So if I sold trips to places that could be said to be similar to Hawaii but are cheaper to get to, I can start to use that kind of messaging, subtly or not. I've talked through the destinations, but there are also brands in this report worth noting, particularly if you don't work in the fashion and beauty space or the travel space. Again, this is where the same methodology can apply and be of use to you. It's exactly the same reasoning, so people are using the brands as anchors. So they like the brands, they know them, but there's something that makes them not perfect. Again, often it's the price, which is why aspiration is such a theme in this lesson. We can see vacations like Disney, vacations like Great Wolf Lodge, and vacations like Sandals. So knowing this, I'd likely do some work to figure out what the USPs of these brands are, what people love about them, and what people dislike. And then I'd think about how I could factor that into my own brand or business. Another point to note here is that if a brand is being used as an anchor, then it's winning to some extent. It's well known enough by people for it to be used as a search anchor above so many others. So if your own brand is appearing as an anchor, then I would suggest you're doing something right in terms of awareness and aspiration. And remember, keep checking in on this on a regular basis because the results change. Answer the Public should be an ongoing monitoring tool, and the brands that appear will change on a frequent basis. That's it for this lesson. To recap, you have learned why the like branch on the comparison wheel is so revealing and how you can use it to spot influencers in terms of celebrities and personalities, particularly in the fashion and beauty space, or other industries where image and aesthetics matter. You've also learned how Google is a great source of data if you're looking to understand who influences real people and why your mindset will be skewed if you only look at Instagram and or Pinterest. We looked at how you can also use the like branch to identify aspirational destinations in the travel industry and brands in all industries, and why if your brand is appearing here, you're doing really well.